Which sales process did they use with you guys?
We should get a doctor on the podcast and ask why they suck at business.
Actually, as soon as she said that, I played golf this weekend with a doctor. They do just suck at business. They really do. They want nothing to do with it. They just want to help people and also let you know exactly how smart they are. Don't forget that part.
I'm glad about the help people piece, and I'm really glad that they suck
they
at
are
business
really
to a
bad
certain
at
extent.
business. Yeah. Now you know why these things are happening, but the consolidations. You're right, though. I'm going to find somebody who's doing that.
Let's do that. That'll be fun. That'll be a fun episode.
Actually, I think I might know some.
You're actually going to write that down?
Welcome to the Small Business Safari, where I help guide you to avoid those traps, pitfalls, and dangers that lurk when navigating the wild world of small business ownership. I'll share those gold nuggets of information and invite guests to help accelerate your ascent to that mountaintop of success. It's a jungle out there, and I want to help you traverse through the levels of owning your own business that can get you bogged down and distract you from hitting your own personal and professional goals. So strap in, adventure team, and let's take a ride through the safari and get you to the mountaintop.
I love that music, man. I tell you, our intro music is some of the best out there. I actually made our intern Michael put it on my playlist just so I could hear it more. Here's the thing, right? Every time you guys listen to this podcast, you get in here. I don't know if you're in your car. I don't know if you're out on a walk, taking a run. Maybe you're even listen to it at work when you're not supposed to, when you're thinking about starting your own business, whatever that may be. One of the things I teach my sales guys is when you get into a sale call, right before you get there, I want you to clear your head trash. It's called just get that trash out, man. Everything that was building up before, you got to get it out. And that's why I'm hoping when you get on this podcast and listen to this, you're feeling like, hey, this is my chance to kind of decompress and get out and maybe learn a little bit something while I'm having some fun. So clear that head trash. Let's get in there. Let's figure out what's going on. And so now you can start building, bonding, and rapporting. I just made up my own word, Alan. Here we go. Just like with every episode, we always say cheers. And today we say cheers to one of my favorite real estate agents, Mia Hanna. Hello, everybody.
Hello, Mia.
I can't.
And we're back. Mia is a Renaissance woman. She is
you're
done
both
quite a bit.
wine snots.
And we're both wine snotting. So what are we cheersing with today? Today we're cheersing with Ramole Toscano 2020.
Wine, blah, blah, blah.
With
blah,
a backup of maybe an Abruzzo Pecorino. But some of us are drinking beer.
Says the guy with... Yeah, you're two-fisted.
He's two-fisted with right. Gate City, which is soon to be a sponsor. We're actually working on that right now. But before we jump in, one of the things we're really celebrating is this is going to be, we just published our 100th episode. And one of the things that we're very proud of is that now we're in the top 10% podcasts worldwide.
So
globally, universally.
We've been saying, hey, we're kind of a big deal. Well, now we're kind of a big deal.
Yeah, so funny enough, just this morning I got hit up by Netflix. Wanted to know if we wanted to do a documentary like Smartless and follow us around. No, I'm just kidding.
It's like, really? No, sorry.
Not yet.
Not yet. Gullible.
Yeah, they're starting with this one, Mia. So you're going to be on Netflix.
So why is Mia a Renaissance woman? Mia is a Renaissance woman because she got into the corporate world, said, you know what, I'm getting out of the corporate world, and I'm going to go try my hand at real estate agents, and she is a realtor, which we'll talk about what realtors are versus real estate agents. And now here she is in the, I guess, third stage of her life saying, you know what, I'm going to help other real estate agents with their marketing. And she actually publishes the Trusted Toolboxes newsletter on the side. Her side hustle, which is turning into her full hustle, is she does email newsletter marketing. So we're going to get a lot of great gold nuggets today, my friends.
She's a broker too, right?
I am a broker.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right.
That's even a bigger deal.
So, Mia, you got into the corporate world. Let's set that stage for a minute. What did you do in the corporate world?
So, I would say that my real career started in the let me see. So, my real career started in the wholesale optical industry. And, you know how you take those tests when you're in high school about what you should sell? Or what you should do. Yeah. That's it. What you should do.
Longshoreman. Yeah. We talked about that on the podcast.
I heard that on one of your podcasts. So I really did. Who was it? Was it you?
Yeah. I went to a pretty blue-collar high school. I don't think they had anything like sales or any of those fancy jobs.
They didn't have
great.
fancy jobs.
No.
Longshoreman.
That's great. So my test came back, and I was kind of tied for two different things, but the one that it was either be a teacher, that wasn't going to happen. So it was selling art. And that was what, that test came back and said I needed to do was selling art.
That's really specific.
Well, yes and no, because really when you think about it, so when I first got into my career, I jumped around and I sold all kinds of stuff, and I sold intangible products and tangible products.
Huge difference.
There's a huge difference. And, there was a period of time where I was in the advertising industry and I sold white space. So I sold advertising space, and then I sold graphic design. Well, both of those are pretty intangible, at least from the in the beginning, they're intangible. And I was okay at that. I was, I kind of made a living.
It's a lot more fun selling a thing.
It really is.
Yes.
And I didn't really my career did not take off until I got into selling eyewear wholesale. And I happened to work for a Austrian company called Silhouette, and their eyewear was and still is a piece of art. Both in the way that it's made and in the style. They've got stuff that you can't even sell here in the United States because it's so fashion forward.
Would Chris look good in it, drinking his wine?
Hello, I feel fashion forward. She just said, as soon as she said, I don't think we sell in the U.S.
I'm imagining
fashion forward. I'm like,
you would-
dude, send me that website because I am so fashion forward.
Elton John glasses
Because
on
I
Chris.
wear 3 different colors of shirts, red, white, and black. And they all say the Trusted Toolbox on them. So
When they really kind of made a name in the United States was when Colin Powell wore the very first drill mount he was out there in front of all, you know what a drill mount is. It's the rimless frame.
Yeah. I remember that.
And
I remember his glasses.
and it was a Silhouette frame.
Those are Silhouette frames.
Yes.
I remember his
and
glasses.
that's when that company, really became a sought after name in the, eyewear fashion industry.
And so there you were.
So there I was.
But you were doing B2B sales. So you're selling to people who are selling these.
I was. And I realized that most doctors aren't really good salespeople.
Right?
Or are
No.
not good business people.
Not
That's
good
what I
business
meant.
people. Yeah.
They're not. It was very, but I had a lot of success in it. I was with them for a very long time and, did sales, got into sales management, sales training, and
Which sales process did they use with you guys? Was it Carnegie? Was it Sandler?
We should get a doctor on the podcast and ask why they suck at business.
Actually, as soon as she said that, I played golf this weekend with a doctor. They do just suck at business. They really
do.
They want nothing to do with it. They
No.
just want to help people and also let you know exactly how smart they are. Don't forget that part.
That's a
I'm
big
glad
part
about
of
the
it,
help
yeah.
people piece, and I'm really glad that they
But
suck
they
at
are
business
really
to a
bad
certain
at
extent.
business.
Yeah.
Now you know why these things are happening, but the consolidations. You're right, though. I'm going to find somebody who's doing that.
Let's do that. That'll be
Yeah.
fun. That'll be a fun episode.
Actually, I think I might know somebody.
You actually going to write that down?
I am.
Was that a good idea, Chris?
Okay, one. Fine, just one. All right, just one. All right. But back to Mia, shall we? All right. So, where were we? We were talking about eyewear.
Eyewear.
Yeah.
Corporate.
So that's where
So you're selling B2B, doing all that.
Yeah.
And again, the sales process, did they have a name for it, or was it just their process?
Do you have what it takes to start your own business? Are you tired of the 9-to-5 corporate job and ready to make that leap into entrepreneurship? You need to check out From the Zoo to the Wild, the book by successful entrepreneur Chris Lalomia. This book is a unique perspective on the journey into the wild world of home services and delivering excellence in service while working in customers' homes. Lalomia shares his path to success in this industry, including proven customer relationship strategies, award-winning customer experience processes, and a unique approach to training a team of service technicians to perform at the highest levels. Whether you're a small business trying to scale or a franchise operation, From the Zoo to the Wild will give you the mindset, habits, leadership style, and customer-oriented processes to succeed as a small business owner in the world of home services. So if you're ready to take control of your future, get a copy of From the Zoo to the Wild today, available on Amazon.
They didn't really have a name for it, but I would say that it was very relationship. It was a relationship sell. It was very, when I first started out, I had a 3-state territory, and my what would you call that? The round, it took me 12 weeks to get through these 3 states, and I would leave on Monday morning, and I would come back on Friday afternoon. And I was driving. It was Alabama, Georgia, and South Carolina.
What was your favorite state?
I actually had a lot of fun in Alabama.
Get right out of town, because I would have said that would have been my worst.
No.
I'm a big fan of South Carolina.
Me too.
And that was back in my partying days too.
Yeah,
So,
all right.
So did they give
There
you
you go.
any formal sales training? Do you have formal sales training, or
No.
did you learn it all the hard way? Isn't that
I learned
amazing
it
how
all the
often
hard
that
way.
happens?
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I found that amazing because Mia hit on one thing that I think a lot of people maybe can appreciate or not. But as a guy who was in both sides, in relational selling, that's what I did in the consulting business. A way different sales concept than what I'm doing in the handyman business, which is more transactional.
It's the farmer versus the hunter.
Yeah, you really,
Right.
and so I think the nuances with relational is that longer sales cycle, number one. Number two, you've got to play angles and you've got to figure out things. And in today's world, which I think is even wilder, is you can't do the shiny baubles. You can't do the, hey man, I'll take you out to dinner. Hey, I'll take you here. I'll take you there. That's why I'm filtering myself, because all the places I took people. But,
So the cheetah misses you,
whoa,
Chris.
hello. Yeah. That's what I didn't want to say. But yes, anyway, it's, by the way, it's
rare.
It's the
gold-
alluvia. On the credit card, it
gold
says
club.
alluvia.
It doesn't say
Allegedly. So, but no, back to that is that you're trying to figure out how to take a long-term play, get them to look good in their business. They're probably playing up to a boss, trying to figure out how to get their C-suite to buy into what you're trying to sell. It takes a minute. And then when you're doing handyman work and what I was selling, I realized all of a sudden I went from a long relational cycle to basically I was into a quickie. I mean, it was a quick transaction. It was like selling now or it's done.
Well, and
So you like quickies?
Exactly what I was going at.
Okay.
Is that I like faster transactions as long as we're talking with Mia.
I think we just made Mia blush. Sorry, Mia.
Perfect.
good. Good. Okay. So, yeah. So what I was about to say was that in that 12 weeks, I would not leave an account until I made my next appointment 12 weeks later. And that was the way that I was very successful in that business. And it was because I never left an account without making my next appointment. And I've actually...
That's a gold nugget.
That is a really good gold nugget, because then they expect you and they actually make time for you, and it's not a bother. They know you're coming.
I have a very good friend that's my hairstylist, and I have pretty much taught her that she don't let the client leave until they make their next appointment. Because think about it, you've got to go to get your hair cut or whatever every 4 to 6 weeks, and you just make the appointment.
How often do you get your hair cut?
Well, funny
Chris?
enough, you should say that. Is that my hairstylist and I have an appointment all the time. But no, going back to the point, I think that's so solid. Is that when you make
Your
the
roots are
appointment
showing.
while you're there? Is it Great Temples again?
Yeah.
Oh, darn it.
Time to frost those tips.
I don't.
Or coloring.
Or maybe a little
whatever.
color.
Okay.
But by making that appointment, then it's in the calendar and it's there. You know, they can cancel, but the likelihood of canceling is a lot lower if you're trying to set it up 6 weeks after the fact and say, hey, I'm coming here in 6 weeks. Nah, I'm busy. No.
Well, the name of the game is making them think, well, if they don't fit into your schedule, then you may miss them on the next trip.
How about that?
I mean, that's what I would do. I made myself seem
Scarce.
way more, yes, exactly, way more scarce than I was. And that for me, that was key.
How about that? Scarcity selling versus I can't. If I don't make the sale, I'm not going to eat. Oh my God, I got to give this away. I got to give this away now.
Well, but I mean, think about it. If you have a 3-state territory, you're like, if you don't catch me, then it's going to be 12 weeks later before I come back around. And they didn't want to wait that long. But by the time I left that industry, I went from 3 states down to 2 states down to 1 state. And I mean, I had half of Atlanta by the time I left that industry.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Why did they carve it up so much? Was it competition or is it lack of?
No, it was not competition. It was what corporations do. They want you to work harder. And so I would grow the territory and then they would bring somebody in and split the territory. And then I had to work harder in half the territory. And then, and then I would build that up and then they would cut that in half again. And I had to work harder to build that up so that I was making the same income. And that's the biggest reason why I left corporate America.
There you go. That's a big one. Yeah. What did Dean Center that just happened?
It's amazing how often corporate America just can't get out of their own way. It's like, this guy's making a lot of money, so I'm going to cut his territory, or
change a commission plan.
Yeah, you had a great year, so obviously we must have misguided for our forecast, and so let's just raise it up by 40%. And it's like you're just killing the drive of the people that are doing a great job for you, as opposed to just making them choke on the money that they earned.
Right.
I just saw an article in I think it was Entrepreneur Magazine saying that during COVID or the remote working process we got going right now, this guy has 3 jobs that are quote unquote full time, but he figured out that he could work them part time, and so he has 3 of these, and he ended up doing 344 in a year. Talking about how he was able to smoke in mirrors and get.
I got a buddy that is doing that with 2.
Yeah. So back to corporate America and the games that are played. So on the other side, you grow your territory, hit your bonus. Oh, you know what? Your bonus has changed. Oh, you grow. So we're either going to double your number or we're going to have your size. And oh, by the way, you have the same numbers. Boy, that's a lot of fun. Boy, just keep kicking me in the gut every time I come in here. So you left. All right. So
and that's why I left, because I got tired of that. I was like, they keep wanting more and more and more and more out of me, and it was getting harder and harder and harder.
And you were traveling every week too.
I was doing a lot, and then even when I got into management, then it was on the plane. It got even bigger. But yeah. Anyway.
All right. So you went to you made the move into real estate agent. So let's talk about how you made that leap and why you did it and how you did it, and did you have a plan? And
I didn't have a plan. I just knew that I didn't want to travel anymore. And I loved homes and I loved relationship selling, which, real estate is that. I know that it's also transactional, but if you work by referral, which a lot of really good real estate agents, it's by referral. It's not as much of a numbers game. There's nothing out there.
You guys scared the crap out of me. Yeah.
No, I'm sorry.
Both the two, because you're on the podcast, you can't see what's going on. We have windows. We're in my basement, and and it's a gated, and I got a pool and the whole thing. And I was out there 2 weeks ago, and I had little deer poops all over there. I'm like, what are they doing in my backyard?
You freaked out about the deer poop.
I did.
I was so disappointed in you.
I know.
I'm like, come on.
I'm like, what are they? Because they're back there in my pool.
And
I don't want them swimming in my pool.
Do
every time I see a bird get on my little ledge out there and start doing his little bird bath, I'm running like a fiend. I mean, I'm like a dog with a bone. I'm like, get out of my pool! You're not shooting in my pool, you damn bird! Get out of there! So yeah, I had deer pooping in my backyard. I was like, well, Chris, that's nature. No, not in my backyard. Maybe in my front yard, but not my back. Okay. All right. So now you know where I'm at.
So
back
and
to,
now you know why I wasn't nervous about coming on this podcast, because of rants like that.
Right. You just got to punch his buttons.
Oh, you do. All right. So back to Mia, please.
So you thought we saw a bunny out the window, is what you're saying?
No,
actually, I thought you guys saw a deer, because I was about to end this podcast and I was going to end a deer.
What were you going to do? You got a crossbow, or were you just going to chase him with a broom?
I got a bat. Okay. That's all I got. Because I've never owned a gun.
Lead pipe.
I've talked about this off and off. People are like, how come you don't have a gun? I said, because number one, I'm just not a big fan. I don't use them. I said, number two, it would be used on me in my own home. So no fucking way.
That's why all your knives are dull in the kitchen.
Exactly. And under lock and key with 2 combinations. Okay.
So real estate. Yeah.
What was the question?
Can we back to Mia, please?
Okay,
hey, Mia. Glad you could join us.
Thank you.
Oh, I'm sorry. What was that about again?
No, but I looked out the window because I always do that when I'm thinking. I look out a window. Isn't that funny? I don't know why, but I do that.
I'm back. Anyway. I was looking out the window again.
Okay.
All right. You guys got me nervous.
I thought I saw something move, Chris.
All right. No.
Oh, jeez.
We're going to kill him.
Okay.
Real estate.
So I got into real estate because I liked houses. I wanted to be at home, but the most important reason that I got into real estate was because I wanted to be my own boss. I mean, I'd spent a lot of time not being my own boss, and I just, knew that I was driven and disciplined, and I didn't need a boss. That's the way I was kind of.
So you took a bet on you,
and
right?
I had control over my income, and that for me that was a big deal at the time. So that was probably the biggest reason that I got into it.
What year did you get into real estate?
2004.
So 4, and so for everybody backtracking, 8 was the beginning of the downfall. So 4 is the height, and I think.
So you got going in party time.
Huh?
You got going in party time.
I did get going in party time.
Yeah.
And
that's a great way to put it. She got going like at 11 o'clock Saturday night at Studio 54 back in the 70s, right? Because we had more real estate agents. I remember hearing a stat. We had more real estate agents here in Atlanta than the metro Atlanta of the metro area of LA at the same time.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was crazy back then.
Yeah.
Oh, it was. And I don't know that I would have had a lot of people get part of the reason that they're very nervous about going into real estate is because you're straight commission sales. And most people haven't done that in their career. And
you can't hide.
No. And I had been straight commission sales at that point for about 10 years. So it did not scare me. I wasn't nervous about it. And so that was another reason why I just kind of took the leap. I'll never forget it. I was sitting at my desk and I saw this paycheck come in and I went, okay, I'm done. All
right. So how'd you get into the real estate business? Or
I was just going to ask, do you remember your first client and thinking, God, I hope they don't realize I really don't know what I'm doing?
I do.
Yeah.
I actually remember that very well. And there are statistics out there. I can't name one off the top of my head, but there are, that is a new real estate agent. That is their biggest fear is having somebody ask them, how long have you been in the industry?
Mm-hmm.
And that was absolutely my biggest fear. I did not want anybody asking me that. So the very first listing presentation that I went in, oh my God.
You were talking fast.
No, I was so over-prepared for it. If this was back before you were working with laptops and, you had electronic presentations and stuff like that. And I walked in with a stack like this of
for the listeners, 3 inches apart.
Yeah.
Yep.
Of comps, of comparable sales. And I was showing them everything, and it was all printed in color, and it was the overkill was crazy.
And what were they doing? They were appeasing you, just going, yep,
Well, this is the interesting thing, and this was like one of my very first lessons, and it was based on a very good piece of advice that I got when I went into real estate. The piece of advice was, okay, you're just 1 in a million of real estate agents. Do not cut corners. Never cut corners. So, of course, in this one, I didn't. I went through everything. I swear, I think my presentation was two hours long.
Like, we'll just sign. Please shut up.
I know.
Right. That reminds me. If you don't sign with me, I'm going to stay here all day and read the entire Bible.
But you guys, this was, you know what? They ended up, I did not know this going into it. It was 2 engineers.
Oh, they wanted all that.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, they were lapping that data up.
They
were
loved it.
Doing 6 weeks. And so 2004, they're probably using Quattro Pro.
I had a signed listing agreement
Chris would have
when I
shot
walked
himself
out.
20 minutes
Yeah,
in.
you would. Yeah.
But engineer's perfect.
Yeah, it was perfect.
If there's any way I could say I'll sign now, will you shut up, please?
Right.
All right. Can we get a glass of wine now? Thank you.
Right.
Because
that's exactly right. And that actually spurred, because I was so taken aback at that whole process, that spurred me And I went with Keller Williams after I'd interviewed 18 brokers. No
that
kidding.
sounds a little obsessive.
Well, I was a trainer. And so I knew that I knew, but also knew what I didn't know. And so I wanted to, yes, I did. It was very obsessive. And I was okay with that.
She finally gave up. She was trying to defend it, but we're in therapy right now. We're here in the small business safari therapy.
18's
and she finally admitted, she goes,
yeah. But I went with Keller Williams because at the time they were known. I mean, it was all about the training, and they were known. Right. And also, I would say that 15 out of the 18 brokers said, well, you haven't talked to that Keller Williams yet, have you? That's like, multi-level, drinking the Kool-Aid, and I hadn't even heard of Keller Williams. It wasn't until the last 2 interviews that I went to Keller Williams offices, and I did it only because I had so many brokers going, well, you haven't gone and talked to Keller Williams. You don't want to do that because
how about that for an anti-sell?
That is jealousy of the number one residential
seriously.
real estate firm
and it was
in the
all
country.
about training, and that's why I went with them. So I'm
KW commercial.
Oh, are you really?
Yeah.
Oh, I work with a couple of KW commercial agents. I do
anymore.
their newsletter.
No, you shouldn't.
Oh, you should do. Look at you. She came on this podcast to sell you. Wait a minute. Whose podcast is this, Mia? You back up.
I don't need no stinking newsletter.
Right. Yeah, that's what I've heard. I don't need a website. I don't want clients coming to just talk to me. I pick my clients. Okay, Alan. We do this podcast talking about how to grow your business, but he's not learning. But that's a different story.
Okay.
I'm a stubborn man.
All right. So you went to Keller Williams, which for a lot of listeners, just again, in the residential world, Keller Williams has an incredible reputation of training and developing talent.
And culture.
And culture.
Yeah.
Gary Keller did a great job with that. I mean,
absolutely.
Books. So you made a good pick. The
reason that I did it was the training. I mean, that was because I knew that I could stay with them for 2 years and then I could go anywhere I wanted and I'd be fine. And that was the biggest reason that I did it. But with all that, and one of the things that I learned, and I really went after it after that listing appointment, was the disc profile. I learned that disc profile. You're looking at me all confused.
No. Chris is a huge disc guy. All my people in my company have been disc profiled.
Okay.
So everybody's in there. In fact, when you come into my office, which Mia's been there, she hasn't seen it, but I'm going to show it to her next time.
Guess what Chris is?
Introverted, and I'm a pleaser. I'm an introverted pleaser.
You're amiable.
I'm amiable. I'm amiable. Shut the hell up, Alan. Back to me. All right. So in the disc profile.
Are you an ID or a DI?
I'm an ID, actually.
You're an ID.
He's just D. Yeah. There's no other letter for
Chris. No, actually, I come out more ID. I actually care about people. I just don't show it much.
Really?
So, yeah. And sometimes I even care what people think about me.
That's going back to that thing that he never gives, compliments.
I don't. So what Mia's talking about is that our intern Michael was in here setting up the show and getting ready to get going and took some pictures. And Mia came in and said, hey, I really like your newsletter, Chris. Oh, that's right. I'm plugging a new one. I've got a newsletter comes out every month. Don't forget to go out there and check out chrislalamia.com and sign up for our newsletter because it's filled with really fun goodies. And it's short and it's brief, as I've heard that we have to be brief.
You hurt yourself on the video this time.
I did.
Which is really fun.
Yeah, you're going to love this video. It's going to be a lot of fun, a lot of video, and a lot of personal injury by Chris. So anyway, it was just a twisted ankle.
You could be like the jackass of newsletters. I think after all the times we've talked about your hand clamp shooting with a nail gun, I think that should be in an upcoming newsletter.
Oh my God! I
write that down.
Oh my God! I'm going to make it a huge aside. I know this is about Mia, but no, it's got to be more about me. So I went in and volunteered for Skills USA national competition. Kids come together. They do carpentry, HVAC, welding. Team skills is what I was.
Is that like punt, pass, and kick of the trades?
For the trades.
I love it.
It was, amazing. In fact, we're going to do a remote there. They actually asked us because when I was down there Monday working this a couple of weeks ago, I said, well, I have a podcast and we do it and it's about small business and business ownership. And they said, well, that would be great if you would come down and do a remote for us next year because the national competition is going to be in Atlanta for 3 years. But I was down there on Monday, and I was ripping, cutting, sawing, and everything. The only thing I did was I dropped a half-inch piece of plywood on my toe, and that nail's probably not going to make it. But every digit still was intact. But and these guys, I was working with these guys who were shop teachers. They're 67 years old. And when I was leaving, they're like, "Are you coming back tomorrow?" Because all jokes aside, I can cut some wood and I can do some stuff. But I had a blast.
That's really cool.
So Skills USA, we're going to pump this thing up. We'll talk about it, and we'll see if we can't pull that remote off. We're actually sending out an email to the Skills USA Georgia team first to see if we can't do some stuff to help promote the trades and the skills. But anyway,
how old are the participants?
They're all 18 to 21. Okay. Yeah, no, I'm sorry, 16 to 21. So could be in high school or aging up into going into college. And it was from automotive, IT, culinary, but I was focused in the construction trades.
Oh, that's cool.
I like that. Dude, it was
I love how you give back, even though, I make fun of you a lot.
Yeah. No, it was a lot of fun. And I tell you what, I walked out of there just sore, but happy. No, I'm kidding. It was it's just fun, man. It's just fun.
Cool.
All right. But again, we were talking about Mia, right? Is Mia here at the podcast, or is it just us? I can't remember. All right.
Mia has already gone to half a bottle of wine.
No, I have not. I've taken 2 sips.
Hey, don't worry. Nobody can see it on video unless you go to our YouTube or our YouTube
now
shorts.
That I said it, you may as well.
Yeah, you might as well keep gunning. All right. So you start doing the sales. Let's go back to this. So real estate agent, sold your first house, got your first one under your belt, feeling good. This is 4, 5, 6. Business is building. Boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
How good did it get?
It got really good. I got awards 6 months in because remember, I knew the animal. I knew relationship selling, and I knew how important consistency was.
And you use the disc profile to help you identify your clients?
Absolutely. And that first client was the reason that I really started to study that because, it's not about what I am. It's about what the person I'm trying to sell to was. And so that I paid real close attention to that. And so somebody like you, I would never go into a bunch of detail about. I would show you the highlights of the comps, but I would talk more.
Big numbers, big pictures.
Yeah.
My head's shaking all over the place.
And
anybody
that's a D on that disc profile, which is, dominant, driven, anybody that's that, man, they don't want to hear anything. They just want you to just,
Here's Chris coming into the room.
That's right.
Oh, hi, Chris.
Dun, dun,
hi,
dun, 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 dun. That should be our podcast music.
Funny, that should actually. It was funny enough. I do have the cape, so when I would have walked into that presentation with her with the cape on, going, "Okay, present." Throw the cape back, and she would have went, "Oh boy, yep, it's time to go." The disc profile. Go back to it again. We've talked about this quite a bit. I can't believe we haven't talked about it more, Mia. It is so big because I do that to help us with our sales because there's 4 quadrants in disc to make it simpler. And I tell my sales guys, you are in 1 quadrant. Here's the problem. 3/4 of the people out there are in the other 3 quadrants. So everybody you're going to sell, you got to figure out who they are, because if you are the quick guy and this person wants you to slow it way back down and give them all the details and you're not doing that, you don't have the win. And if you have somebody who wants to win and be the high D, right, who wants to flip his cape off and have you wow him and then tell him how cool he is and then give him a bottle of wine, boom, you got him. Right? That's the kind of thing. So obviously Mia had been schooled in sales.
Now, it's not divided into 4 equal quadrants.
Well, I know. The quadrant I'm in is the biggest of all of them, of course.
It's actually the smallest.
What?
But it seems like the biggest because you're in it.
Well, exactly. Thank you.
Okay. It's getting deep. I wore long pants today.
You should have wore boots.
Whee! Yeah. Here we go.
Okay.
Oh, look, a squirrel.
Podcast over. All right, back to Mia. See, I told her it'd be fun. She's like, I don't know if I want to do this. I'm like, come on, get on here. You gotta do this stuff. All right, so you're killing it, right? 4, 5, 6, 7.
Was it all referral?
Yeah.
Or was it because you were following the system, or what were you doing?
I was never, the entire time I've been in real estate, I have never been one to go after for sale by owners, expireds, the numbers games, the ones where you do the robo dial and
ambulance chaser.
I've never been that person. Everything I've ever done has been by referral. And, which is part of the reason that I went into the business I'm in now. But anyway, well, anyway. So,
that's a huge gold nugget. We have some. Referral business. We've talked about this over and over and over, right? You can go drop. You're a personal injury lawyer. We had Jen Gore on. She's up against the John Foys, the Morgan & Morgans, and the one call, that's all. And these guys are spending not thousands of dollars. I'm talking hundreds of thousands of dollars a month just to get a client.
Right.
And so Mia built her book of business on networking and referring and referrals, right? You didn't advertise.
But so do you to a certain degree. Yeah. I mean, because when you do a good job, they're going to come back to you. And that's what
or is it the Stockholm syndrome?
Well, it's because I'm not involved. And so that's what's going on in my company too right now. Is while I was out volunteering, I got my operations manager's going on vacation for a week. Then my scheduler's going on vacation for a week, and she is absolutely shitting her pants that I'm going to get involved again. And so she is trying to tell me so much. She's like, "Chris, I got this. I got it all figured out. I got this." And she's not doing it, but she's sending me emails about she's got the whole 2 weeks all planned out, just so I don't get back involved.
That is so cool, though. Your business has grown.
Deborah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. No, but she's doing a great. But she is freaking out. I told her, I'm like, Deb, calm down. You're good. I want you to go have a great time with the grandkids. And I said, I promise you, I will only screw up at least 3 or 4 days.
So,
but no.
So what we've learned here is, even though you prefer quickies, you do still have to make a relationship out of it.
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do. I make a relationship with my folks. Yeah, of course, my team. All right, back to Mia, shall we? Oh, whose podcast is this? With the Small Business Safari. Don't forget to go ahead and check out ChrisLalavia.com.
Open you another bottle of wine?
Yes. Oh, my God.
I think I'll take my third sip.
There we go. Please. Third sip, she says. Don't worry, the Uber driver's outside. We actually called her a car service.
Think it means.
We called her a car service. So it's good. Oh. We're going to get her hammered. It's over. This is, best business ever done?
Right.
Over wine. Okay. Now, back to killing it.
I think all of our best ideas over.
Well, that's why we're doing this podcast.
That's exactly right. Yeah.
We are geniuses after 12 beers.
Going after nuggets.
That's how the podcast started, Mia.
Well, how?
Just over a lot of beer. We thought we were relatively smart and amusing and charming, and
had a lot of stuff to offer people.
That's right.
That's because we thought we were really smart, especially at 1:30 in the morning when the bartenderess is saying, "Boys, last call,
time to go."
Oh, yep.
That was before COVID.
Yeah, I know.
Right.
So over. Oh, COVID. Okay, back to Mia. So killing it, 6, 7.
All referral.
All did awesome. Referral business. Did a great job. And I have seen Mia in action. She does an incredible job. But it's hard to separate yourself from the others. You got to do that with good referral, repeat business.
Right. So
here comes 2008. We're in Atlanta, the most saturated real estate market in the nation, I think, at that point. That's another stat. That one, you know what? Check me. I don't care. The most number one saturated real estate agent market in the nation was Atlanta. Because of the house. We didn't have that many houses.
And you would, again, I did not come prepared to, quote stats, but it was amazing the number of agents that dropped out. I survived 2008, 2011, but not gracefully. There was nothing graceful about that. And, most think about the attrition rate, and most agents don't make it past 2 years. 80% of agents drop out after 2 years. That's a known stat. And, I'd been in it at that point. I'd been in it for 4 years, but I knew just enough to be tenacious. So
what did you fall back on? Obviously 2008, and I don't care what business you're in. It was just flipping tough, man. I started my business then, so I was starting at the bottom. It was rough, but you had been up, you were high. So what did you rely on? Give us some, because we're looking at a recession coming again. What did you rely on? What would you tell people? This is what got me through there.
This sounds like a plug. Marketing.
Hello. I 100% agree.
Yeah.
Was that a setup?
No, it wasn't actually.
No,
but
actually,
it doesn't. It seems disingenuous, Chris.
No.
Seriously?
I seem disingenuous.
You like that word?
That's a big word.
It is a big word.
That's an SAT word right there. That's a 10-cent word.
It was marketing. That was when I figured out that I was going to have to pay somebody to do my marketing, because marketing is not what brought the business in, which is why I did it not so gracefully for those couple of years. Marketing doesn't bring the business in, but it gives you the opportunity to lead generate when that presents itself. You have to market to have the opportunity to lead generate. So I'm
not sure I'm following that. Unpack that for me.
Okay. All right, here we go. Yeah. Unpack.
You have to have.
That doesn't count by.
That's a corporate word.
That's a
all right. So I don't. What did I miss here? How did I?
So you said I'm not making money, but I'm going to go pay people to help me make money.
She's saying marketing didn't bring in the leads.
No, well, because there were no leads coming in then. Think about it.
Well, they say 50% of your marketing dollars are wasted. You just don't know which 50%.
I ended up
in 2008. It was bigger percentage than that.
I ended up. You know what? I supported myself by learning the short sale market. That's how I supported myself during that period of time.
All right, there's the big T right there. That's tenacious.
Yeah, you got to go with the flow. And so I learned how to do short sales, and again, I learned how to do it very well. And I did that. But in the meantime, I knew that wasn't going to stick. It couldn't stick. So I also started to do regular marketing to my referral base, to the people that I was doing short, did you just...
No, he spilled wine all over the control board.
Don't worry. It's... Don't worry about it.
God, I was in the middle of a really good point, too.
I was writing the things down, and I shouldn't be writing. I should just be listening. I was writing it because I thought it was good.
All right.
Okay.
Are we
back?
What
was I saying again?
I want
Squirrel.
So you were kind of getting what you originally said that I didn't understand was you were marketing, but that wasn't for leads.
No. So, okay. So you've heard the saying, since you're a commercial real estate agent, you've heard the saying that when you get into the business of real estate, you are actually getting into the business of lead generation. That's right. You've heard that.
Sure.
That's right. You're a commercial real estate agent. Never mind. No. Sorry. No.
I won't tell you what just went through my mind, but go ahead.
Can you tell me?
Later.
Okay, thank you.
No, really. I'm really glad this isn't. Okay.
Don't worry. It's not.
We'll edit it all
We're going to edit this all out. Nobody's going to hear any of this.
No.
Or all of it. It doesn't matter. Okay, here we go.
So the reason that you want to do marketing is so that, as a real estate agent, you are not going to have the opportunity to sell anybody until they're ready to buy or sell. That's when you start the lead generation piece of it. So marketing is keeping your name in front of them.
So brand awareness marketing is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay. Got it. Okay.
Yeah. Which I had never really done it before when I was, 2004 to 2008, actually probably 2004 to about 2010 or 9 or 10. I was just, relying on my relationships. And then I learned the short sale market, and that was bringing money in. But I realized that at some point that would stop, and I needed to be able to fall back on my relationships. And the only reason that I was going to be able to fall back on that is because I was marketing and keeping my name in front of people. And I was so busy lead generating for short sales that I did not, I wasn't doing any marketing. So, when that was over, I was going to be a forgotten brand. And so I was too busy. And so I started paying somebody to do my marketing for me.
So she's making less money, but yet putting more money into marketing.
And that was not easy.
That's not easy. And as she said, not graceful. It's hard, man.
Yeah.
And I tell you, as we're here we are in 23 looking at somewhat of a recession and a pullback depending on the market you're in and what's going on. And I'm starting to see it. But I saw it at the beginning of the year and I leaned into it. So I increased my advertising, increased my marketing. My net's
and then
up.
Look at you.
And
right.
so I'm staying up, but I'm starting to see it. I mean, it can only last for so long. So I'm back to tenacity. I'm trying to figure out the next thing. So I think that's the key thing is when the going gets tough, are you the tough or is it time to go? And that's where, and especially in real estate agents, when you're a realtor and you've been through the licensing and you've done all this stuff, you're in it to win it. You're actually not just playing at this. You're actually in it to make it work. And that's a key thing, back to licensing and getting into it. But I want to get that far. I want to go back to the marketing thing because that's how you've found this next niche. Here we are now. So you make it through there. And then here we go. The run-up begins.
So I've been an agent for 19 years. And so about 6 years. So I started paying somebody to do my own marketing again, probably about 2010. And then all of a sudden, I guess, let me see, that was probably about 2017, 2018. I started paying attention to what that was getting me. And yes, it was keeping my name, name in front of them. And there's a line of thinking that it doesn't matter, if you send a postcard, it doesn't matter if they put it directly into the trash can, they see your name going into the trash can. As they're throwing it away. Right. And it's the same thing. And actually,
write that down, Chris.
Well, I got one for you.
And it's the same thing like, with email. It doesn't matter if they delete the email. They open it, look at it, they see your name.
That's interesting.
That's marketing.
And we're talking about this because we're talking about the newsletter stuff now and the marketing stuff, right? And she's learning it, and that's why I want to pivot to the next stuff because we got about 10 more minutes when we get into this. Okay. I know it's flying.
I know, right?
Squirrel. All right, go.
So
there's a deer pooping in your pool right now, Chris.
Podcast pause. Give me the gun.
He looked.
You said you didn't have a gun.
But so marketing that's how you keep your name in front of people. So that, and I, again, ungracefully made it through 2008, 2011, but then 2012, 2013, all of that hit. And I mean, I had best years ever. And I have, had a upward trajectory ever since because I continued to do the marketing. But I did realize that it wasn't just about marketing. It was important what I was putting in front of people. Because some of the marketing that I had was very frivolous, and it
like you dunking on a basketball or
whoa. Not only can I not dunk, but in that video, which you guys are going to have to check out, I actually had to put a bunch of foam pads down because I was afraid I was going to kill myself.
Did you really?
No, I didn't.
Oh, okay.
But I was like, oh my God, back in the day, literally, I've dunked a ball like twice in my life. As a 6'2" basketball player, just could never do it. White man can't jump, this guy. But playing football, I finally got big enough and could jump enough that I did. But back to his point. His point is I'm making stupid videos that people like to watch, Alan.
That's why
but
you're
it's
top 10%, Chris.
Marketing,
that's
baby.
Marketing.
You want to figure this out. That's why people are listening to podcasts.
When their house floods, they're going to, well, maybe not when their house floods, but, when something breaks in their house, they're going to remember that stupid video.
So I've actually, through this podcast, have a number of people reach out to me. A lot of them handyman, remodelers, because that's obviously where I'm coming from. Knife sharpener, carpet cleaners, and they all ask, what's the easiest way to get into it? I'm like, you have a customer list? Yeah. I said, email marketing every week, every month. You got to do it once a month. I said, that's the cheapest form. And if you got to pay somebody to do it, the cheapest form of getting in front of you because it pays dividends in spades and it pays over and over and over. And that's why Mia's been doing my newsletter now for
about 2 years, I think.
2. Yeah. And I would tell you before then, I still tell this story, is that I said this in a networking group once, and somebody asked me, and I said, oh, it's email networking. You got to keep emailing. And they went, how often do you do it? I said, I do it once a month. So I went back, and at that point, it was just me and Cindy in the office. I looked. I hadn't sent an email out in 8 months. I was like, yeah. And so immediately I got on. So I did it by myself. Then I took one of my internal guys, tried it. Didn't do it. Mia says, hey, let me help you with my newsletter, with your newsletter. Let me think about the format, the way you're doing it. You know, and the guy who was helping me internally was at the time my sales manager who, loved him, liked the way he did it. She goes, let me do this, let me do this, let me do that. Hey, let's add a video to it. Bingo, bango, bongo. Right now, our open rate in our industry is supposed to be 22%, and our open rate is what?
There's months where it's up close to 60%. Yeah.
How about that?
Bingo, bango, bongo, Chris.
I did it again, baby.
Yeah, you did.
Let's
2
go.
podcasts in a row. So I will say, so when you outsource your marketing, especially social media, the big clunk that I feel is that person who's doing your marketing doesn't understand the business. And so whatever's coming out from the business just doesn't feel right. And I will say, credit to you, when I get Chris's newsletter, it seems like it's coming from Chris.
And that is one of my goals always.
Yeah, and that's a big deal.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of people out there that'll handle your marketing.
And his video goes a long way towards that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's important to, and, you know, all the main, you know, and Touch Plus Marketing is the name of my business. And my main.
Say it again.
Touch Plus Marketing.
Okay.
We're going to put that in the show notes. Touch Plus Marketing.
And guess what? It's Touch
Can we make
Plus Can I tell you why I named it that?
Yeah.
Okay. So you can take one of my newsletters, my real estate newsletters, and you can turn it into 10 touches. You can take all these different articles that I put in it and create, you can do a social media post. You can send out another email. You can print out a PDF and write a note on it and send it through the mail. There's so many different things that you can do with this kind of newsletter that's why I call it Touch Plus Marketing.
Hence, Touch Plus.
I think we should do it again.
It's
one more time.
more than one touch.
Touch Plus Marketing.
I like that.
We are the 4 horsemen
of the apocalypse.
That's right, baby. But that's what marketing is, the apocalypse. Here we go. No, I'm kidding. Back to this. So obviously pivoting, you're in the real estate business. You still do this, but now you're doing the newsletter for people because you're helping other agents realizing that while we're going through another downturn, and you've got to be better than your competition.
Absolutely, and it's funny. And I swear, in the last week, I've signed up 7 agents.
Oh my God! In the last week alone.
In the last week, and the reason is that we're going into a time in the market where you've really got to, it's all about marketing because, yeah, there may be a slowdown, but you just keep your name out there and you keep going. There's still business.
So why do you think your emails are better than somebody else? Like, you know what, me, I'll do it myself. And I've heard this all the time. You know, Chris, I've YouTubed this and I know how to change my own toilet out so I can do it myself. I'm like, yeah, absolutely. So why are your marketing emails so much better? What is your unique selling proposition?
Well, it's kind of a threefold thing. Kind of. So it is that, first of all, I am an agent, have been an agent for 19 years. I understand the beast. I understand what needs to be said. Second, my focus is putting something in there for everybody. There can be, that newsletter is going to appeal to somebody that's actually thinking about selling their home. It can appeal to an 18-year-old living at home in the basement. And then it's... I
know one of those. No, I'm sorry, 24-year-old, not the basement, but we talked about her.
But it's consistent. It's a consistent touch that my agents don't have to touch. It's a turnkey service. Yours is turnkey.
Yeah, no.
Okay, now you do amazing. A video, but I have a lot of other businesses at this point that don't. In fact, you're the only one that really does a video consistently for me. Everybody else, they just rely on me to do it. I send it to them a day or two before it needs to go out and say, hey, approve this. And they approve it. They don't have to touch it.
This is where
that's a big deal.
That's the big thing is
touchless. Touch Plus.
It's touchless. Touch Plus.
I need to figure it out.
Touch less.
There's something there, isn't there?
There's
something
there.
I know. Touch me less. Wait, where are we going with this?
Chris.
I mean, back to the quickie.
I'm not back to the cheetah. I mean, alluvia, allegedly. Okay, thank you. All right, back to this. One of the things, and I don't want to make this a shameless plug, but I will, that I've enjoyed about what Mia does and brings to the table in our newsletter is that it's not, hey, come see me, the Trusted Toolbox. We'll fix your wood rot. Hey, come see me. We can do this. It is, hey, have you ever seen what a man cave can look like when you do it like this? Have you ever done a family room that allows everybody to enjoy it? Have you ever done a mud room? And look at these ideas you can get. And you're giving people ideas in their house, and you're actually giving them value and reasons to actually click on the email. Oh my gosh, this is cool.
And it's always in the subject line. And it's not, the whole newsletter is not about Chris. It's about idea.
Really? How did you talk him into that?
That hurt.
The Trusted Toolbox. Okay. Chris. Okay. So, no, it's about the different, it gives them ideas. So that's, it makes you a relevant resource.
So here's my Renaissance woman. I started that in the beginning, right? So she gets out. She didn't say it on the podcast, but she has told us before. She is not an Army brat. She is an
Air Force angel.
Thank you. And she got into corporate America, did her thing, gets into real estate, weathers the storm in 8 to 11 because, and as she said, it's really more like 9 to 11. But it was tough, and she shows the tenacity. And now is pivoting yet again for that quote-unquote retirement, but I want to get out of it, and I want to write these newsletters. So
being a real estate agent is 24/7, and I'm done with 24/7.
Yeah, residential, your weekends are
24/7. So I'm now into I created this so that I could take my computer and go on the road.
And she went on the road last year too?
I did.
Where?
I went to Puerto Rico.
Hello, Puerto Rico.
And I rented a place on the beach.
What was that, Chris?
For 3 weeks.
At the beach. At the beach. Oh. That's my Spanish. I know it's La Playa, but it doesn't matter. All right, back to the. Okay. So back to, being able to scale and pivot, over your career and your course. I mean, obviously, this is not the course you had plotted out when 18 when you said, oh, boy, it looks like I'm supposed to be selling art. And then I'm sure you had that just for a glimmer of a minute. You thought, I'm going to France and I'm selling all the Louvre's art, or the what's that called? The place over there?
Louvre.
That whatever. Yeah. You want to talk about the Louvre? You want to know if I went there? If you know how fast I go through that thing? Probably I got 45 minutes. I think I could do it under an hour. But I'll see it all. Hey, I want to see it. Don't get me wrong. I enjoy it. It embraces me. Anyway, back to Mia. Shall we?
I got a story about the British Museum in 45 minutes, but I'll tell you some other time. Did you work when you were in Puerto Rico?
I did.
Okay. With her laptop, doing her email marketing,
and that was
and
so
produced.
Chris, when you're
produced my email from Puerto Rico, and the only reason I knew it is because
you were in Acapulco. And you weren't working.
I wasn't, but she was.
That's just an interesting comparison. Just wanted to point that out.
Wait till you hear about July, Alan. It's going to get really good.
Okay.
It's right around the corner.
Oh, yeah. We're going to end the podcast with that one.
So what's the exit strategy for you?
Oh, my exit strategy from, So that goes into the book. I know one of your questions is, what is the book that had one of the biggest impacts on me?
Let's get into it.
Go ahead and just
hit the book.
Recommend
the book. Go.
Okay. So it's Robert Kiyosowski's The Cash Flow Quadrant. That had a big impact on me.
Rich Dad, Poor Dad guy, right?
Yes, that's Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And he talks.
You laughing at me, Chris?
Why?
Richard wants to put that. He said, "Can you endorse my next book in the inside jacket?" Oh, you're the rich guy, poor dad guy. Okay. We're gonna see if we can't get Richard on.
Yeah, good luck with that.
I actually have a shot. Long story.
What?
Yeah.
Okay. So anyway.
You guys are both shocked, aren't you?
Us in the top
I know people.
8%.
I know people. Okay?
Yeah.
I know people.
So on the left side of the quadrant, you really want to be on the right side of the quadrant to have an exit strategy. And so real estate agents are actually still on the left side. It's employee and self-employed is on the left side. The right side is business owner and investor. Mm-hmm. So right now I'm a business owner. but that will turn me into investor. I will either just sit back at the beach and, be the CEO up here and let other people run my business, which is, who knows what I'm going to end up doing with it, or I'll sell it. I'll do one of the two. I'm not sure which, but I'm building something that I'm going to be able to
sell in the email business. Will you be able to sell or move over your book of business on the real estate side? I was interested in that. That was one question I had for you before we left.
Am I going to, I will.
You're with your real estate business.
I'm going to be, I will, in fact, I've already started. I'm referring a lot of it out.
But will it be a tangible asset for you to sell?
No, because I didn't build that. See, I could have built it and I could have flipped over to the right side of that quadrant as a real estate agent. I could have built a team and done that, but my passion just wasn't there. I didn't. I
think this is a great book, and it's also a great point because, as you built a real estate business, you built it for you, but it's unfortunately it's not going to be able to be sold. However, the email marketing, that's touch plus.
Or touchless touch plus
marketing. Wow. Hey,
touch plus.
By the way,
touch plus
if you
marketing.
Ever want him to work on your jingles, just don't. All right. So
a couple more beers. I got it.
Okay. Here we're going to do this. All right. Let's keep jumping through these questions, shall we? Your favorite feature of your house. I think I know what it is too.
I bet you don't.
Oh, look at that look.
All right. It's a showdown.
It is. It's like two gunslingers. They're both squinting at each other.
Whistle for me.
Yeah.
I can't.
I bet you think it's my kitchen.
We did.
You did. You did. Shit. Which that's probably my second favorite one because I love to cook. I'm a big cook. But it's actually my bedroom and my bath, my bedroom and bath. I love my bedroom and bath.
There you go.
It's gorgeous. It's got sun coming in the windows. It's beautiful. And it's like the only place that I can go into my whole house and get away from work.
That's right, because you do work out of your house. All right, I like that.
Yeah.
Okay, I did. You're right. I thought I had it.
Get away from you.
Wait a minute. I'm not there.
No, your work.
Oh, the work.
Yeah.
My work?
No, the work. Your work.
I do. Well,
never mind.
Everybody's my work, please. Everybody's here for me. Thank you. And you can't get away from me in your bedroom. What? No, come on. Let's keep going. All right, back to you, Mia. Please. Can we? All right. So, if you're a customer and you're out there and you're in the marketplace, what is a customer service pet peeve of yours?
Rudeness.
Rudeness.
And it is amazing to me how many people in customer service are just flat out rude. And it's more than likely because they don't like their job. That is not my problem. I am a customer. Do not do that to me.
So do you blame the person or do you blame the process and the company and the culture? And that's a leading question. I realize I just said like that. Yeah. So the answer, I don't blame them.
It's the dumbass who put the rude person in that position.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I just went to the dentist I've been going to for 22 years, right? And I got to get some work done. And I went in just to get my teeth cleaned before the work. And the lady's like, I can't clean your teeth without us doing x-rays. And I'm like, nope, not doing that because I got to get this other work done. I'll do the x-rays next time because I can't stand getting x-rays. Longer story there. And she goes, well, then I'll lose my license. I'm like, okay, that's bullshit. So I'm like, where are we at? She goes, well, we'll have to reschedule. I'm like, that's fine. I got up, walked out, told the ladies, I'm like, cancel my appointment. I'm out. And she goes, is everything all right? I was like, nope, not at all.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm moving on to another dentist. And it's not her fault, though. I don't blame her. I'm actually not mad at her. I'm just mad at the way my dentist built her practice to do this. And now I'm going to go meet my dentist at her new practice and let her know that she kind of blew it on the business side.
I have a really great dentist in Duluth, just so you know.
My dentist will beat up your dentist.
Whoa. All right, we'll have to talk because it's important because
and I'm one of those people that's like probably my biggest fear is dentists.
Anti-dentite.
I go every 3 months. And here we go. Now we're talking about this. In the small business Safari, you just don't know what you're going to get. But you keep listening because you're just not sure what he's going to say next.
It's watching a car wreck.
Oh, my God. It's just so bad. It just keeps going over and over and over. Okay. So, next question. And I think we're at the end. Give us a DIY nightmare story.
Oh, this is good.
Did I get to the end?
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We're on D.
I know. Thank you. Okay. Well, I have 4 questions. 1, 2, 4, 7.
So the one thing I do want to say about this is that I don't do DIY. Never, ever. I've never done that. I've been, that tiara I had when I came in, that's pretty much the way I am about
it's
DIY.
It's going to be back on your head shortly.
I know.
We're almost over. It's almost over.
But I did have this one situation. I used to be quite the party giver. I had parties at my house all the time, and I always did, like, one of my biggest bashes was my Christmas party. And the day before my Christmas party, I noticed that the toilet in the downstairs, in my main area, was really slow to drain, and it was like, what's wrong with that? So what did I do? I went, well, that's not going to work. So I put Drano down the toilet. Yeah.
Uh-oh.
What does that do, Chris?
Danger Will Robertson. Danger Will Robertson. That's an old-timey reference from a long time ago. That's
Lost in Space.
Lost in Space. Remember
he knows
that?
It.
Oh, my God. You do not put Drano down the toilet, my friends. Because why?
I didn't. Oh.
Why? What does it do?
Did you flush it?
Does it blow up?
It does.
It does.
Are you serious?
Okay.
Yes.
All
Never
right.
put Drano down a toilet,
I'm going
my
to do
friends.
that tonight.
Friends, don't ever put Drano down a toilet. There's a plunger for a reason. Toilets are made for a different.
But even the
Drano.
plunger, I tried the plunger. It wasn't working. It was slow. It was just slow. So anyway,
it
so what
blows
happens
up?
is
No,
I had to wash all my table linens for this party. I mean, seriously.
It's not instant combustion. You have to flush it and then it blows.
I had like 75 people coming over to my house the next day. I started my washing machine, and everything started coming out. Any water.
Shit a clog on the main.
This is the best.
On the main floor.
This is a good one.
This is
the
great.
Day before my party. It was horrific.
Are you saying?
And this is for Christmas. Merry Christmas. Hey.
So if there was somebody who wasn't like my favorite, and I got invited to a party, and I brought some Drano, and I stuck it down their toilet, and they didn't know, would it blow up?
If it's flowing, it would not blow up. But if it does not, it will come
flowing.
right back at you.
Well, you guys haven't heard. You have not heard the best part yet.
Oh,
yeah. Oh, let's continue, shall we?
So I was on a septic tank. I was in Vinings at the time. That's where I lived, in Vinings. I was on a septic tank, and
are you serious?
I don't know. This
how
is
do we
why
not
I am
know
not
this?
DIY.
People.
How do we not know this?
Call me.
So I finally, got desperate. I was like, okay. So I call the emergency plumber, and he comes over, and they're like, where's the septic tank? I had no idea where the septic tank was. They started digging. It was 5 feet from my front door.
Your septic tank?
Yeah. Oh, it gets better. Hold on. So, it was 5 feet from my front door. So, that looks like a big, funeral plot. I mean, it does. I mean, it's the shape and everything.
It is. That's exactly right.
Yeah.
That's where you bury your dead and your shit. Yeah.
So it's 2:00 in the morning. Now, I want you to know that I lived in a duplex. I lived in this really, really cool place. Do you remember the ski hill in Vinings?
No.
That was way back in the party day. Yeah, that's before your time. So I lived in a duplex, and I had these 3 girls living next to me. Now, I want you to know, before I tell you this, that I had only been in this place for 6 months. And the septic tank's on my side. They dig it up. It's 2 a.m. in the morning, and the guy comes into the door, and he goes, ma'am, can you come out here and look at the septic tank? I just need to show you this. And I go out there. Should I say this?
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Please say it.
Let it rip.
I already know what's going. I know what's coming. Go ahead. Go.
The whole top layer was condoms.
Ooh,
were you expecting that, Chris?
No, I was using the T word. I was going tampons.
No, it was condoms. The whole top layer was condoms.
Didn't know that. No, I was actually.
And he was
tampons.
like, "You're not supposed to do this." So I'm like,
he was thinking they were yours.
Yes, he thought
right. So he's looking at you, hey, ma'am. And then he's thinking, hey, do I got a chance? Not a chance there, plumber crack. But okay. All right, there you go. There's the DIY nightmare story. That one is classic. And now we've all learned something else. You never put Drano down a toilet. Alan, we'll talk after we get off this podcast.
Can you take that last part out when you edit this?
Sure.
Oh, yeah. We'll edit it any way you want.
Mia Hanna, you've been an incredible guest. Touch Plus Marketing. This is marketing at its finest, because what today's marketing is all about is being different in the world. And right now, you just got different. If you stayed this long on this podcast, you got some different shit, motherfuckers. We got to go.
I think you got a new idea for your next video for your newsletter, though.
I know exactly.
Do you have condoms all over the top of your septic tank?
Call Chris. Yes. Boom. Drano blowing up in your eye. All right. We've had a lot of fun, Mia. Okay. We are going to put this all over the show notes. But marketing, people, you picked up something, great arc. If you're trying to grow your business and keep going, look, you've got a couple different ways you can go it, right? You can go corporate America, and you can work for the man, and they keep cutting you in half. You can go out there and take that chance and bet on yourself. And guess what? It's not always easy. That's what we just heard. But you know what you can keep doing? Stick to it. Be tenacious.
Tenacious.
Because I was thinking tampon. That's my problem. I'm stuck in my head. So I couldn't.
I would not have said that.
Okay, well, I would have. But obviously I did.
You were
clearly.
Yeah.
Hey, I got a video for you. All right, stay tenacious. Keep going. Let's get up that mountaintop and let's make it happen, everybody. We're out of here. We got to go. Cheers.